In this video, we're diving into the strange and unsettling theories behind two of the most mysterious cases in modern UFO lore: the bizarre deaths in the lead masks case, and the chilling mass suicide of the Heaven's Gate cult. In June of 1969, a small, long-overlooked clue emerged, a crumpled piece of paper found near the bodies, bearing a single word, Banzai. On the surface, a simple Japanese greeting, but investigators believed it might mean something more. The word was reportedly used by a cult of Japanese origin operating in Nitara, known for chanting it during their rituals. For a brief moment, there was hope. Perhaps this was the missing thread that could unravel the mystery. But after tracking down and questioning members of the group, that hope quickly faded. No connection could be proven. Once again, the case slipped back into silence, the mystery more tangled than ever. It's clear that Miguel and Manuel were deeply immersed in spiritualism, and they believed they were on the brink of an extraordinary experiment in Nitari. They had received instructions from a third party and made careful preparations. If they truly embraced the cosmic philosophies found in the writings of Ramidus, it's possible they believed they were about to communicate with, or even meet, beings from another planet. But what they didn't foresee was that something would go terribly wrong. Every mystery has its elusive figure, and in this case, that role belongs to Elcio, the spiritualist friend. Elcio seemed to know far more than he admitted. While he may not have directly caused their deaths, it's likely his influence guided Miguel and Manuel to that fateful moment on Victim Hill. Whether by fear, guilt, or something else, Elcio chose silence, withholding key information from investigators. But perhaps the greatest failure in this case was forensic, not spiritual. No proper toxicological analysis was ever conducted. Without it, the cause of death remained a mystery. For years, people assumed a toxicology report had been done and had found nothing. This only fueled speculation that what killed the two men wasn't from this world at all. Some believe a UFO plays a role in this strange story, but there's a problem with that theory. Griselda and her husband claimed they saw an object hovering above Victim Hill, but their account only surfaced after news of the bodies broke. Had it been the other way around, if Griselda had reported a UFO first, and only then the bodies were discovered directly beneath where it was seen, it would have been a far more compelling piece of evidence. Instead, the timing cast doubt, leaving the UFO angle feeling more like a retrofitted explanation than a credible lead. One detail about the scene never quite adds up. Miguel and Manuel were found lying on their backs, carefully arranged on a bed of freshly cut leaves. All signs suggest they followed instructions to the letter, taking the capsules, donning their lead masks, and lying down willingly. But if poison was involved, where was the struggle? Wouldn't at least one of them have reacted, tried to get up, call for help, or even just flinch in pain? And how could both men have been affected so simultaneously that neither moved or tried to help the other? Detective Salo once suspected the capsules may have contained curare, a powerful toxin that causes total muscle paralysis, and, in large enough doses, death by asphyxiation. But curare only works if it enters the bloodstream. When ingested, it's harmless. In 2007, journalist Mario interviewed Salo, but still haunted by the case. Salo revealed he had uncovered a key clue, something he believed could finally prove the poisoning theory once and for all. It was a revelation meant to be published in Mario's new book, a deep dive into the lead mask's mystery, with Salo's full collaboration. But as with so many threads in this case, the trail went quiet. The book never came out, and the secret Salo hinted at was never revealed. But the book was never published. Salo passed away in 2018, and Mario followed just 3 years later, taking whatever final insights they had to the grave. The mystery remained unresolved. By 2004, the TV documentary Linha Dorida uncovered a grim truth. The case could no longer be reopened. The official police files were missing. Most likely, they had been destroyed, standard procedure for archived cases left inactive for more than a decade. It was a devastating loss. Nearly 4,000 pages of evidence, police reports, eyewitness testimonies, lab results, photographs, sketches, and even the original handwritten notes found with Miguel and Manuel were all gone. Even the lead masks themselves had disappeared. What remained was no longer a case, but a legend, shrouded in rumor, half-truths, and unanswered questions. In his final report, Police Chief Eidhoven offered a sobering conclusion to the case. He wrote, "Based on the investigations conducted, we conclude that the deaths of both individuals were the result of an attempt to carry out experiments aimed at proving the existence of the soul, perhaps through telepathic communication or other practices rooted in parapsychology. These experiments likely involved inducing a state of semi or total unconsciousness, brought on by the ingestion of chemical substances, capsules, whose composition could not be identified in the examination. It was a rare moment of clarity in a case defined by confusion. But even this official statement left more questions than answers, and a mystery still suspended between science and the supernatural." The lead mask case bears striking similarities to a darker chapter in UFO lore, the mass suicide of the Heaven's Gate cult. Heaven's Gate was a millenarian religious group. From an initial following of hundreds, the group adopted strict ascetic practices and rituals, gradually narrowing down to a final 39 members. In March 1997, they committed suicide by overdose, believing they were transferring their consciousness to the spacecraft. Like Miguel and Mano, the two Brazilian men found dead in the lead masks case, they were dressed identically, though in black t-shirts, sweatpants, and suits and raincoats, and each had a square cloth covering their face. Beyond the surface details, the lead masks case reveals a strange duality of belief, a fusion of mystical ideas like telepathy and spirit communication with UFOs. Miguel and Mano seemed to believe they were preparing for contact with otherworldly beings, possibly even traveling beyond the physical realm. And yet they still relied on earthly tools, lead masks, written instructions, and chemical capsules. It raises an odd contradiction. If their goal was to reach a higher spiritual plane or make contact as disembodied consciousness, why the need for physical preparations? Why would non-corporeal beings require masks, or for that matter, transportation at all? In trying to bridge the metaphysical and the material, they may have stepped into something they couldn't fully understand. Did Miguel and Mano die as part of a failed spiritual experiment, or were they led there by someone with darker intentions? Who gave them the instructions, and why did they trust them so completely? Was Elcio hiding more than he admitted? And what about the missing evidence? Nearly 4,000 pages of reports, gone forever. Was it negligence, or something more deliberate? The answers may have been buried long ago, but the questions still echo.